Rod, you're probably live now. You're gonna be in the paper tomorrow. F Hill. By the way, why do they call us F Hill?
I don't know.
You notice in the newspaper we're always F Hill.
Well, we'll fix
You
that.
know that?
All right. Let us move, Ronnie.
Take over such a hard word.
Approve the meetings.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the August 7th minutes, including the correction brought to my attention by Deputy Mayor
Thank you.
Janice?
I worked hard to Randall.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve it and specifically note that he is Deputy Mayor Janice, not Trustee Janice for the official record.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
On vacation.
I have a motion
Nobody to
to
kid around with in a
approve
foreign
claims.
country.
Any questions on the claims?
The claims. I just want to point something out before Frank says it. Why did we get salt in the summer?
Good question.
We're under our contract. We didn't take all the salt that we were required to take for last year, so we took it now, which hopefully means that we won't need some salt for the 23-24 season. But we had to fill our salt shed.
We didn't use any salt last year.
We used a little bit, rich salt.
One time.
It was a little icy.
But at least we'll save the money for this budget year for that. And the other thing I think I wanted to point
Can I
out.
say that, is this an honor of Jimmy Buffett? We found our lost shaper of salt.
It was too soon, AJ, too soon. I think that's the only interesting thing, the outlier on the abstract that I wanted to point out. We had to spend a little money on fixing the trucks. They're starting to have a little wear and tear. So that was a little out of the ordinary, but it is what it is. So I have read all the, and I go through all the claims every month. So I will make a motion to approve the abstracts of the claims.
And can I have a second, please? I'll second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
As always. You know what, it's like I have it,
I know.
every month
I
it's
should
kind of
gotta
like
say it every
paste and
Sadly,
Trustee
Mr.
Franco stays on the art landscape plan.
Sadly, Mr. Albinski was unable to attend today. Oh, sorry. Did you have a question here?
No, that's all right. I think we'll get it when Rich does this.
Yes. So sadly, Mr. Albinski is not here, and I believe Ms. Schatzkamer is going to fill in the role as, no? Peter said you were going to.
I have no idea what transpired.
So then I will
Gary,
pass the baton.
Or-
I'll pass the baton to Gary Lindowski, Trustee Lindowski, to tell us about what happened to the RC.
Chairman.
Did he pass on a, paper?
Yeah, meeting notes are
The
it's in your,
report,
it's in your,
I can read the report.
Okay,
it's there.
Yeah.
I'll give any explanation, I guess.
All right,
Please.
33 Birchdale, roof over exterior cellar steps. This was a returning application. And they are putting a roof over basement steps. They needed a variance and they will be at zoning next week. And the committee approved it as long as the application is submitted to BZA, which it is.
And the mailings did go out because I received them. So.
You did, okay, yeah, I received that today. Next returning case was 6 to Spur, exterior alterations. They reduced the scope of the work, and the committee approved it as submitted. New application, 72 Knollwood Road, reconstruct residence with additions. The committee suggested lowering the roofs of the front and rear porticos. The front portico should have more depth. They reconsidered the arch and tablature detail. They saw brick samples and suggested shingle-style clay or concrete roof tiles instead of Spanish tiles. Not approved, and they will return to the next meeting. 40 Hewlett Lane, interior and exterior alterations. The committee asked for a change in the center gable, raising the front portico, adding pilasters to the wall opposite the portico columns and above the portico in line with the lower pilasters, and fascia under the roof or is it fascia? How do you pronounce it?
Station.
Fascia, thank you. Under the roof to be wider and add fascia under the roof overhang. With all of those changes, the application was approved with those conditions. 24 Birchdale Lane, for first and second story additions. The committee felt that the additions were compatible with the existing design and it was approved as submitted. So I'm asking for a motion to approve the findings of the committee.
Well, first, we should ask the public if they have any questions.
Does the public have any questions that I can't answer?
Well, Mr. Lewandowski
I
might be
could
able to answer. So the public has no comments.
Okay.
So
Are there any questions or comments from the board that I can't answer? Okay,
I have none.
being none, yeah, but there are none, can I have a motion to approve the committee's findings?
I'll make that motion.
And I have a second from trustee Franco, and we have an I know Mr. Trustee Wodowski will be abstaining. Other than that, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next would be Public Works report. Anything really exciting?
We put up a new speed hump on.
Oh, yeah.
So I did notice that people know how to go over it at 30 miles an hour. They because it doesn't extend far enough to the
We
side.
can't, so
You can just, I see people do it all the time, they just drive right through it.
so we can't
Right.
Go
safely drill into the gutters to put,
Right.
it works better on a gutterless street.
Right,
The streets
yeah.
with the gutters, we can't
The
drill
only
through.
other way to do it is if we just make a full.
Yeah, so the regular people know how
Put
to
spikes
do
in the
it.
gutter.
Put rocks,
Now, that's an idea.
put rocks in the right of way. Get Brian to put rocks there.
So yes, listen, what's good about these speed humps, they're removable. If it doesn't work, we can remove it. But
There's still, I mean, yeah, no.
It's-
but there's still stop.
it's slow,
If you don't know, yeah.
it's slowing some people up. So
Yeah.
I think it's doing its job. So thank you and the department for spending half a day putting that in.
One thing I wanted to bring up, because Rich and I have this, we have a terrible lantern fly infestation in the park. Terrible.
Everywhere, they're everywhere.
Yeah, and we've been trying to, we did some research, the University of Pennsylvania had some really good solutions for sprays, because they're just like the whole tree.
Rich and I already discussed, he's gonna purchase the sprayer.
We can't find it. We can't find any of
That's
the
what
recommended.
I have one person that might be
Oh,
able to get
okay.
it.
We discussed this
Yes,
yesterday. He's
I
gonna
just
try.
wanted the board to know, because, people are, talking about it, and we are trying.
We, I
to address it.
asked Rich to identify and remove any trees of heaven that we have
Mm.
in the park
Because
or
they
village
like
property,
those.
because that's the one they seem to love to munch on, because I think tree of heaven, I think that's their native tree. And it's an invasive here anyway, and they're invasive, so if we take away their favorite meal, maybe they will die. I don't know, but that was something that I read that people recommend to get rid of tree of heaven, and it's.
Those are the trees that are in the sled backyard. Two
Yes.
big trees that have had
Well,
right around.
So I can't remove that tree, but if the hospital makes an application to remove said tree, we can approve. The village arborist would approve that, but we can't remove something on private property. But at least we'll try it in the park. Rich and I were driving around before looking at some trees and such, and
Some of the-
he has an action plan. So thank you.
Because,
Tennis
our
tennis
court
rackets.
clerk likes to spray them with Dawn dish soap and
Yeah.
kill them with a flip flop, so we thought we could bring her.
A tennis racket works great. My
Oh, you
grandchildren.
like the tennis racket?
No, regular tennis
Oh,
racket. They
regular.
just whack them. Yeah. They just whack them constantly with the tennis racket. They fly.
And Rich, you have anything else?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so we have a grant which we spent on new park benches to replace our aging and in some cases destroyed park benches. So I saw you guys putting them together and I think they'll be deployed.
Next week or so.
Pretty soon.
I'll start putting on the rest, but I don't know if you want to talk about the.
Plaques
Not necessary.
in the,
Yeah, put that in this letter.
okay. My report, I am going to ask the board to approve the attendance.
I'm sorry, can I was.
Oh, sorry.
Rich, are we done then with, paving? Are we,
Everything? Oh, yeah, everything is
can we
done.
close out the contract?
Punch list.
So the
everything.
number in the
Yeah,
payment is the
we
final.
payment.
it is. We held back some money for some services that I felt that they did not
Right.
provide. And Bryce and Steve agreed.
Yep.
So
Good, great.
we kept a couple of bucks.
We beat the deadline by weeks.
Yes, and we
Good.
came in under budget. So this was a
Save
win-win.
time and money, I like that.
And
They did a good job.
I think they did a really good job. They had some big difficulties with some very bad weather that
The rain.
ruined some of the work that they did. They had to undo, and then they had to come and clean out our storm drains. And they came back and did it. And Rich was there supervising, make sure they did a good job.
Experience, that's great.
And interestingly enough, we didn't hear like any complaints from residents.
No.
They went and quickly replaced sprinkler heads, and they quickly reseeded, and they did everything that I would expect them to do, but I would say that some of our previous contractors
Right.
didn't do
Right.
in an expeditious manner, and these guys did a great job. So
Good, great
thank you.
Yeah, they had such a small punch list that we had with them. Literally one day, they were fixed a couple of things and they were done.
Good.
So it was a good project, and hopefully they win the bid next year. I'll be very happy.
Okay, anything else? Okay, so, I would like to ask the board for approval, for myself and Suzanne Sandretti to attend full training school, Lake Placid next week. And, Mr. Falcone to attend public works school in, Lake George, October 16th, of the week of October 16th.
School.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is reasonably.
You get homework?
Huh?
You get homework?
He does.
It's a lot.
So
They
this
all,
is-
they all bring big trucks and they'll play with them.
Yeah, that's all they do.
So these two activities for both sets of people are reasonable and customary. They, we've alternated who goes to training school. And last year, Kevin went to public works school and got some valuable training, and Rich has done this in the past, and he usually comes back with some pretty good cost-saving measures. So I think it's worthy to approve, and I don't have the cost here, but it's not that much money. It's in and we've already budgeted for it anyway.
Right.
It's budgeted. So I will, I say we should approve it. Anyone have an objection? Excellent.
Okay, motion by the mayor, second. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. And the second
Sir,
item
deputy.
is we're going to be
Thank you.
applying for the court
Your
grant,
honor.
and they require a resolution to accompany the application. So be it resolved that the board of the Village of Flower Hill authorizes the village court to apply for a JCAP grant in the 2023-24 grant cycle for up to $60,000.
Motion. I support the lawyers.
Okay, we have the motion by AJ, trustee Smith, and a second. Okay, deputy mayor Janice, thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Attorney's report, Mrs. Winthrop is not here. Mayor's report,
Very exciting things. There's going to be a stop event. in the town of Hempstead. Gary, on September 30th.
Yeah.
I'll take this back. So I'd like to, so just, it's not as cool in here as it should be. Last month, it's better.
Better.
Well, listen, just so we did a little research, and we found out that there's actually a second zone in this room that is unrepairable.
Right behind
So-
you guys.
It's behind, and there's one vent over there. So there's another unit outside that has seized, died, and we're replacing it. So unfortunately, it's X budget, but it's.
No, that's why we're applying for, we're actually applying for the court grant because it's
Yes.
the courtroom. And
But there's no guarantee we'll get the money,
guarantee,
but we're applying for a grant for this.
I feel pretty good about it.
And hopefully that'll pay for it. But my goal was to have it finished by today, but it looks like they are not. And it'll be hopefully by next week. So the next board meeting will have air conditioning if it's warm in October. No, we're replacing the whole green box outside. And Rich went and got 3 quotes, and we're going with the cheapest quote. So thank you, Rich, for doing that. Thank you, Speed Hump. You forgot to mention, Rich, that you finished all the painting of the stop lines in the village. And then if anyone notices a stop line that needs repainting, please let us know and we will do so. I don't know who noticed, but did you notice the new garden on Middle Neck Road by Green Lane?
Yes.
Max would notice that on a daily basis. So thank you, Rich, for taking out all the overgrown stuff. And the resident there did not complain, so I assume she's pleased with the activities that you did. Thank you very much. Hurricane preparedness, I believe we are going to miss Hurricane Lee, which I'm very excited about, but I still would recommend that everybody in the village be prepared with their testing their generators, making sure they have batteries and all the other good stuff that you would need for hurricane preparedness.
Mine doesn't work.
Well, Frank, you better call a generator.
I think the problem is I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have one.
So that's why.
Well, I recommend, we have some nice companies nearby you can buy
Wait,
one
you
from.
know, this is a tough room today.
It is.
Throwing out all my best stuff. and
Crickets. And then lastly, I would like to thank Mitchell Schwartz. I'm surprised my trustees did not notice.
I did. I'm
I
looking at
did.
it, and I'm wondering if I had a stroke or something because I'm afraid to ask if they
This is
were
our
new.
new, this is brand new.
I was afraid to ask if they were new because I'm looking at I'm looking at
This
them,
is
I'm like,
our
I
new,
always
this
love
is
it.
our new.
They're beautiful.
It's our new
Beautiful.
historical gallery.
It's awesome.
We're going
Good
to,
job.
Awesome.
we have a nice 36-page booklet. How many pages?
36.
36-page
You know,
booklet.
it's a very quality album box, that's if you're including the cover and stuff.
Well, we're gonna remove one page at recommendation, so it'll be 35 pages. And we didn't have time to print it, but there is a legend to what each of these pictures are, so that just didn't make it.
Mitchell,
We
this is
have-
the link, right?
Yep.
We have.
And the arrangement's really nice, the way they're.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is nice.
Good
So
job.
thank you, Mitchell, for the,
Oh.
so thank you for our village
I was
hall
looking for the little legend, but I now
historical
know.
gallery.
So what do we do? We just scan this and then.
Yeah,
and
you
then
can
they'll
download the guide.
Oh.
Very cool.
So that's my, and sadly, in 3 days from now, the gas leaf blower ban ends for the season. So I'm very sad.
Oh, no, I have it on my phone.
Pass it down. And that's the end of my mayor's report.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, pass these down so I can.
Did we?
It's not, actually, you know what, we have to make some changes to it, so don't
Don't
download it. You can
download
download
it
it
yet.
now, but we're making some
Yeah,
modifications.
Oh my God, this is.
It's really good.
This is great.
And hopefully, as we get more pictures, we will expand the gallery around the room.
Very nice.
All right, Mayor, that's it for
That's
you?
me.
Any
Trust,
trustees have anything to?
Gary, do you want to report anything about like a Shed the Meds event?
Oh, right, yeah,
Now that we're back on the record? When is that again?
October 7th,
Thank you.
802 West Shore Road.
No other trustees' business. So any old business? We're actually, shame on me once again. I did not have time to review the RFP for planning. So that'll be postponed to next month. We probably should have crossed off the list. New business. One of Frank's favorite things. We need to approve the LoSAP agreement for the Port Washington Fire Department. That was in your packet, if you had a chance to read it.
So there's like it's very insignificant.
It's very
I think the changes that they're going to, it's going to a 3-year now instead of
Instead of a
2-year.
2-year contract for.
So it's like $500, a $500 additional, which is not that much. And then he switched the report cost, I think, to a flat fee of $2,000 or something like that, which, so it actually is, I was talking.
It's more economically advantageous
Yeah,
to go to
yeah.
the 3-year contract with this Firefly also.
And Tony's great. They do a great job,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So the
Yeah,
fire
we-
department is very happy with them, so.
Yeah, they'll be at Michael next week. So,
Perfect.
All right, so to have a motion to approve the agreement
I'll make a motion.
and second?
Deputy Mayor.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, we also have to send our court order to Albany and requires a resolution that I have here somewhere. Here it is. Resolution to pursuant to 2019A of the New York Uniform Justice Court Act, that we have done an audit of our court and that we will be sending it to the Office of Court Administration.
So I actually read the audit and there were no major findings in the audit. So I'd like to thank our court clerk for running a very efficient court. The audit we passed with flying colors, so
Okay,
Thank you,
and that's why I
Susan.
need someone to offer that resolution. The second,
I'll offer.
Deputy Mayor. Just gonna throw it out here.
Yeah, really.
take that home. You're no more trusting anyone.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Now,
I have two things I want to bring up.
So, but that was in trustee report.
No.
Oh, wait,
it's
maybe we
new
need a special
business.
deputy mayor report.
I'm sorry. We have to add that to
So-
the agenda.
We'll have to go into.
So
executive
I
session.
want to propose a recall election for the mayor. No, I'm only kidding.
That's fine.
Two things. The stop sign on the corner of Sunnyvale and Cherrywood, again, those bushes are obstructing it.
I just told Rich at
So why don't we do
4:30
this?
today.
So you can put an extension so that you have the pole and then it extends out so that the stop sign.
Trucks are gonna hit it.
Yeah.
We've done
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We did it before a long time ago, and we ended up with all of them being bent.
So
Oh,
Frank, I must have
really?
been psychic because
Yeah.
I literally
Trying to think of a way to.
at 4:30 today. I said, Rich,
Yeah.
you got to hit, and because I saw it the other day, it's very
Trim
overgrown.
it, I'm gonna end up trying to trim it.
Trim it, trim those bushes. Those bushes are overgrown. They need to be trimmed way back, and
Oh,
they're in the
man.
right of way, so you
I
can
didn't
trim
think of
them.
the truck thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because that road there,
I know.
but that road is very tight there, and when everybody turns by your house, I don't want those trucks pushed
So
over.
the other question is, what about a stop ahead sign?
There is a stop ahead
There is a
sign.
stop
ahead.
It's in the bushes.
It's in the
That's why I asked Rich.
Mr. Consistent.
There is.
That's why I didn't know it was there.
It's totally covered the bushes. That's why I asked Rich to trim the
That's
stop ahead
funny.
sign. Yeah, no, he's getting to it. Yeah.
And one more thing, the house on
Waldo? Where's the stop
the
sign?
house on Stony Town where the landslide was, what's going on with that property?
That's a court.
It's a disaster.
So
It looks awful.
it's a court matter.
Oh.
It's working its way through our court process. So I don't think we should comment.
No, that's fine. I just want to know if it was.
It's something that
definitely,
it's something that
still,
Jeff is
active.
actively pursuing. It is something that our code enforcement and our building inspector is actively keeping an eye on. The homeowner did come in for a permit to do work.
Mhm.
They have not, unless I checked, that was 2 weeks ago, they have not filed a permit to do work, but they are actively looking to remedy the situation because I don't like those blocks there either. It looks terrible.
It's
But it's necessary due to the action that's happening in the court. And I think that's all I can say without.
okay, because it's all overgrown.
It'll be addressed.
Okay.
We done with the public meeting? I think I need to make a motion to go into executive session. It is not on the calendar, but we have a personnel issue to address. So if you can kill the camera, it would be greatly
And can I
appreciated.
have a second for the executive session?
We would have to, did we close the meeting?
We're going to executive session and then we're going.
back.
We have to come back.